What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Toronto Raptors off-season forecast. So I made this over a week ago when they got eliminated in the play-in to the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, here we go. So entering the 2022-23 season, there were three big things in the off-season. One of them was Scotty Barnes and the Kevin Durant rumors. You know, Scotty Barnes, he just came off winning Rookie of the Year, and Kevin Durant was looking out of Brooklyn. So the Raptors was his preferred destination, and this was one of the offers here. OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, Chris Boucher, 3 first-round picks, and 2 swaps. So it was giving up a lot, but you're getting Kevin Durant back. Masai Ujiri said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm keeping the Rookie of the Year. I'm going to keep this roster together. And they added to their like 6'8", 6'9" wing group by signing Otto Porter Jr. in free agency. He came off winning a championship with the Warriors, got that two-year taxpayer mid-level exception. And then in the draft, they didn't have a first-round pick, so they just drafted Christian Koloko. He's a forward / like small ball center, also 6'9". So yeah, that was their offseason really. So now during the season, they had a really up and down season, very, very average. I would describe it as a roller coaster. So one of the things was seller's market, right? So you have lots of guys, players, contracts expiring, and these three right here, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., and OG Anunoby, technically his contract's not expiring, but he was a real hot commodity on the trade market. So these three guys were heavily linked. You have Fred VanVleet, who's looking for more money. There were signs of, will he come back? Will he not? He wants more money than the Raptors are offering. Gary Trent Jr., you don't know. He's still 23. He's young. You could maybe get some value back for him. Because they're at a point where you're at the crossroads. You can either stick with what you have, you can completely strip it down, or you can try and add on. What they did was they did what no one expected, and they added on, giving up a first-round pick. And you see Woj saying here, the Raptors never turned out to be sellers, adding Spurs center Jakob Poeltl on deadline day. They'll have to make some harder decisions in the offseason, but Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster tested and learned more about the value of several players. Now, they gave up 2 second-round picks, including one this year and one in 2025, and they gave up that 2024 first-round pick that is top 6 protected. So that is a horrible trade, in my eyes. You know, they're like, okay, this team's lacking a center, so we'll go get them a center. So this is where after this trade it was okay. They're still trying to contend. They're still trying to push for a playoff spot, for going deep in the postseason. So they picked up Wizards buyout candidate Will Barton on a 1-year end of the season buyout deal. He was rumored to go back to Denver, to the Celtics, Cavs, but he chose to go to the Raptors for his expected bigger role there. So, end of the season, they ended with a 500 record, 41 wins, 41 losses. They were 5th in the Atlantic Conference, so they're behind the Celtics, Knicks, Sixers, and Nets, and they were knocked out of the play-in tournament. Pascal Siakam led the team with 24 points, nearly 8 rebounds. Fred VanVleet had 7 assists. OG Anunoby 2 steals and 1 block for Christian Koloko. So defensively they weren't that bad, but they were very bad in defensive rebounds. They were dead last in the league, which is very surprising and very contradicting because offensive rebounds I think they were like top 3 or top 5, something like that. Bottom 7 in points, field goal percentage, 3-point made, 3-point percentage. So 3-point is definitely something they have to get. They need to get a sniper, perhaps a Duncan Robinson or someone like that, right? And trying to rejuvenate his career at the 3-pointing. And they had a very lackluster and unused bench. You know, Fred VanVleet like led the league in like minutes played for like some statistic like that. Yeah, it was like a 7-man rotation all throughout. So lots of roster changes here. So now this is the part where I'm gonna pretend I'm a GM. This isn't like 2K where you just sign some guys and have it played through like a simulation. This is me if I was a Raptors GM right now. So I'm gonna skip the first one for now. So Nick Nurse's future. Um, that's gonna be one of my main points. The 3 R's, I'll get to that, and then the biggest point of all, what direction am I heading in? Right. So I'll talk about that a little more later too. So let's look at the salary cap real quick. So on the left, you have the 3 R's: retool, rebuild, rip apart. So those are my 3 R's, right? So retool is kind of like um, what the Celtics did when they had, they had Enes Kanter, and they're like, okay, let's go get Tristan Thompson, average center who can rebound for another average center who can rebound about that same price, just trying to change the scenario up a little bit. Rebuild is like the Orlando Magic right now, right? They're adding pieces, they're rebuilding, they're a good young team. Okay, rip apart. This is where you tear the whole thing down, just like Cristiano Ronaldo said. To build Rome, they had to strip it all the way down and then start up again. So, for rip apart, this would mean like get rid of Fred VanVleet, get rid of OG Anunoby, get rid of this, and honestly, this is going to be very tough because of that 2024 top 6 protected pick. Because rebuilds, they don't take a year. They don't take 2 years. They'll take a solid 3 or 4 at the very least. Because you have to get that good young piece. You have to acquire some free agents. You need a good coaching staff. It's very rare to see like 1-year rebuilds and stuff like that. So let's look at the salary cap for the moment, right? Hopefully you can see my cursor. So Pascal Siakam, 28. He's entering the final year of his deal. So let's not focus on the left side. Try and focus on this. So 37, so nearly $38 million in that final year. That is a lot of money to be paying Pascal Siakam. But then after that, he'll be unrestricted free agent. Fred VanVleet, he has a player option, which is rumored to most likely be declined. He is seeking more than this. The Raptors had given him, I think, like a 4-year, $80 million extension, or like something like that. He's looking for more. He's looking for like that Jalen Brunson type contract. He's rumored to go to the Knicks. People view him and Jalen Brunson as a very similar mold, same type of kind of draft, and then working your way up and all that. Gary Trent Jr., he also has a player option, $18.7 million. That no one knows. You might accept it, he might not. He probably will decline it and test out the market in a weak free agent class, but we'll see. OG Anunoby, he has 2 more years, but the final year is a player option, and he is almost certainly declining that. He is a very hot commodity. Everybody's looking for a 3-and-D wing. It was rumored the Memphis Grizzlies were willing to give up 3 first-round picks to get OG Anunoby, because that's what's highly sought after in the NBA. So like 6'9", 6'8" wing, maybe 6'7". He can guard anyone, so he can guard from like Kawhi to LeBron to Kevin Durant. You can put him on your primary defender, and on offense, you can have him sit in the corner, shoot threes. That's very, very valuable. Chris Boucher, he's kind of running, so his contract's actually going down each season, so it'll be 11.7 and then 10.8. Jakob Poeltl, he's an unrestricted free agent, so you gave up a first-round pick that's protected in 2024 and 2 seconds for a guy who's unrestricted now, and you're gonna have to pay him money. Thaddeus Young, he's in a non-guaranteed deal, $8 million. He's getting up there. Good veteran. Scotty Barnes, you're gonna have to extend him this offseason. Otto Porter Jr. Either this offseason or next offseason. Otto Porter Jr. 6.3, a player option. He's certainly accepting that. He only played 8 games this year. He was very inconsistent when he was even out there. That is due to the injury, but still. Precious Achiuwa, Malachi Flynn, and so on and so forth. So you can see that right there. So the first thing is, I forgot to address this. I am moving on to a retool. I'm retooling. Kind of a little bit of a rebuild, actually, but more of a retool, I'm trying to be kind of like the Chicago Bulls, but the Bulls did that to compete. But I'm kind of like, we gave up that pick, so we have to kind of stay a little average and then try and hope that we get a late draft pick again. So to do that, I want us to have fun. The Raptors, they didn't look like they were having lots of fun this season. I think it's time to move on. Nick Nurse has 1 year left on his contract. And spoiler alert, they did fire him on Friday. So I did this a while back, like I said, last Saturday or last Friday, whenever, and they fired him like 2 days ago. So Nick Nurse is out. This is a mutual ways. He can go over to the Bulls, or he can go over to the Wizards, or some team. Definitely, he's gonna have a job in the NBA. But it's just Kenny Atkinson. One of my favorite teams to watch. Then the 2018-19 Brooklyn Nets with D'Lo and them running and gunning. It'll be a fun team to watch. So he'll be there, get that locker room vibe going, and really help the Raptors out. So I'm ranking these players on this season. So what I would do. So OG Anunoby is untouchable. He's going to be our starting small forward. Scotty Barnes is untouchable, starting power forward. I believe this is Christian Koloko. Is it? Sorry. Yeah, Christian Koloko. Christian Koloko here. He'll probably be a backup center, very cheap. I'm pretty sure this is Benton, 25 years old. I'll keep him because I think he's really highly sought after. And when he was playing really well in his limited minutes. I would keep Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl. I'll talk about those guys in a little bit. Because of the fact of Gary Trent Jr.'s age, and he's also 3-and-D. And I would keep Chris Boucher. He gives 110% when he's out there. Remember from a couple of years ago when he was completely exhausted on the bench during the pandemic. He's willing to give 110%. He'll be the backup power forward. Thaddeus Young, I will keep him. He's on that non-guaranteed deal. He's making $8 million, I know, but I would keep him to be a good locker room presence. He's a good veteran. He can help mentor Scotty Barnes, OG, and I would keep him around. And then we have these other two guys. I think they're on two-way deals or restricted free agents. I forgot their names. I know one of them is not Hardaway Jr. He's back here. We can look real quick. Harper Jr. and then Jeff Downton. So those are those two guys. So I'm gonna trade Pascal Siakam. That's a spoiler alert. I'm gonna trade him. I'm gonna trade Precious Achiuwa, Otto Porter Jr. and Malachi Flynn. It's not working out. So I'm just gonna try and recoup some value there, especially for Pascal. We have to move somewhere. I'm gonna let go of Freddie. I don't want to resign him. Same with who is this guy? He was a power forward for the Bucks before. He's a good shooter, but I'm gonna let him go. Will Barton, I'm gonna let go, and then Joe, I'm gonna let him go too. So this is the Siakam trade. I'm giving up. Gordon Hayward. I'm getting back Gordon Hayward. 2024 top 3 for protected first round pick, a 2027 first round pick, a 2023 second round pick, and a 2023 second round pick again. So these 2 second round picks are expected to be second round picks. One of them in the 40s, the other one I think it's in the 30s, maybe. I don't quite remember, but they're second round picks. The Hornets, they have way too many picks right now. And by doing this, they're hoping that they get Victor Wembanyama. I think for the Hornets, they would have a lineup out there of Siakam, Wembanyama, LaMelo Ball, and maybe Miles Bridges is back in the small forward. Who knows what they're going to do there? But you help LaMelo Ball out. Get Gordon Hayward here. Giving up top 3 protected picks. So like if it lands 4 or 5 or something, go straight to us. And 2027, you never know what happens in the league. So, yeah. So the draft. So there's a 4.8% chance that we hit top 5. I'm saying it right now is very, very rare. I've tried running multiple simulations on I think it was like mockdraft.com or something. And yeah, it's very rare to even jump in the top 5. Let alone get 1% from Victor Wembanyama. So very, very rare odds there. And then positional needs, they really have point guard, shooting guard, and I said center here before, but you can really use any position. the draft. That's where we're expected to end up. And I selected Jet Howard. He's 6'8", 215, 19 years old, out of Michigan. He's a shooting guard slash small forward. He's very good. So shout out to the Raptor on the website for giving me this report. But he's a versatile number. So I said this myself. But versatile number one option on offense. Good defensive player. I like watching this guy. Me personally, he seemed really good. Very consistent player. But you know, he's a low risk, so you know what you're getting from him. But he's a high reward. If he really develops his game, I think he's gonna go crazy. Shoot threes, play defense. You know, might be a replacement one year for OG. You never know. So there you go. Now with the second round pick, 34 overall, I went with Mark Daly, point guard at UCLA. Daly, you might remember him from high school when he played with Bonnie James. He was a very high school recruit. So people said go back to school, but going to draft pick you up, they expect you to deal. Could be a first round pick if you return to school. Could be athletic. I'll say when I did watch him, I expected a little more things out of him, but that's something you can develop here. You have time to develop here. You know. And then with my next pick, I went with Sanogo. So it's gonna be a little controversial. People might say he's undrafted or something, but I think this is where he'll end up. He was the NCAA Men's Final Four Most Outstanding Player. He averaged 19.7 points and 9.8 rebounds in 6 tournament games. They won. You know, he was really good at layups. He's very, very physical, very strong, very defensively. So yeah, good developmental player of the year. Now, re-signing players. So this is the offseason now. And I started off with Jakob Pearl. So he's 27-7 1 center. I gave him a 4-year, $73 million contract. So you can see the breakdown down below. First year, 16.2. Second year, 17.4. Then 17.5. Third year, 18.9. And final year,